Trump makes predictions that will drive the left crazy. Really? I'm down for that. This is a suggestion via Discord. Let's go and jump into this immediately, guys. Let's see where this takes us.
It's time for part 2 of my exclusive interview with
Oh,
President
yeah,
Trump.
exclusive.
If you're successful in deporting these pro-Hamas agitators, as you did with Khalil from Columbia, was a former student at Columbia, is there any concern that in a Democratic administration, that same provision could be used to deport more conservative thinkers who are also immigrants to the United States? Let's say,
Guys, that's absolutely an amazing question. I didn't expect for it to go this hard, but yeah, that makes all the sense in the world. Whatever you do to one group, the other group is going to do back to you. So be careful with that, right? And also, I don't think that every single person that most likely supports Hamas is a foreigner.
more conservative thinkers who are also immigrants to the United States. Let's say they're Chinese freedom dissidents from China or others.
Look, no system is perfect, but you say, as I was with Khalil, well, Khalil's not exactly an easy one either, because some judge, glommed onto him. But think of it. The Democrats lost big, and you look at what's happening with Schumer, but the Democrats lost big because of the stupidity of, they're backing these 90% negative things from their standpoint. Men and women's sports, transgender for everybody, all of this stuff, they're all for it. And they're still fighting for it. But now they have a new one. We're going to back murderers, killers, and people that hate our country. We're going to back people that hate Israel, want to destroy it, people that are murderers, people that are horrible. We're going to back them. I think that might be a 100% issue for us. They don't ever find an issue that's like a good
politically
issue.
Very helpful.
No, politically. I mean, this is not backing Khalil is not a great issue, but backing Khalil's better than backing these other, hundreds of people that are really serious criminals. It's probably a step better than that.
Okay, guys, here's the thing. Most of the people that are absolutely kind of in support of Khalil, let's say they feel the same exact way about Israel. Keep that in mind. But okay,
criminals. It's probably a step better than that.
The EB-5 visas, you've spoken about them and the fraud and abuse of that process over years. They're basically immigrant investment visas. $800,000, you can get a fast track to a green card. You don't have to speak English. You don't have to have a special skill, but it's very popular. It's a big, long line of people waiting to get these EB-5 visas.
We're going to have one that's much more popular.
But the golden visa, which you're obviously backing, probably is going to have to go through Congress. We'll see if they actually do that. But $5 million investment from a foreigner coming into the United States. Why should our citizenship be purchased for any amount of money, especially given the fact that you're America
country,
first,
guys.
Given the types of people who have $5 million to throw down for a visa or for a permanent residency?
That's why, because I'm America first.
Yeah, guys, they're going to come here and they're going to actually absolutely build and be able to capitalize kind of on a lot of the things, right? If you have the amount of money that's actually required for it, you're probably going to come here and win. That's just how that works here.
Because at $5 million, you're getting a lot of things, but you're getting $5 million. Let's say we sell 1 million of them. That's $5 trillion. We are now a unbelievably
not that many.
Successful country.
Nowhere near that.
Paying down tremendous amounts of debt. It's all going to pay down debt. We're going to have very little debt.
Separate fund?
But if you did, think of it, if you did $5 million. Now, generally people that can pay $5 million are going to be job producers, okay? They're going to be successful. They're going to produce jobs. But here's another thing. Apple comes to me. A lot of companies come to me. They say, sir, we just made a deal to hire the #1 student at the Wharton School of Finance or at Harvard Business School or anything else, or MIT or Stanford or any of it. But they're going to throw them out of the country the day after graduation. They'll buy these.
Why should any American kid become a computer
And by the way, they're going to
scientist?
call it either the gold card. The problem is there's many gold cards. Well, I will tell you what my people want to call it. It'll drive you crazy. It'll drive the left crazy. They want to call it the Trump card. because the Trump card sells much better than the gold card. Everybody has a
So you're not worried about any unsavory people coming in and taking...
Yeah, I'm worried about unsavory, in which case we're going to...
You're going to be vetted?
Give them the money back and they get out.
They'll be properly vetted.
Not at $5 million, guys.
You know, we're talking about a lot of people. I think it's going to be very successful. If somebody's wrong, we actually are very, very nice, because it makes it a lot easier legally. We give them their money back and we send them out.
Guys, the interesting thing about that, guys, there are 36 million people that are considered millionaires that live outside of the United States of America. It makes sense, guys. I mean, if you want, can you sell 1 million of them? Potentially, right? But a lot of people just won't come here, guys. Keep that in mind here. Probably most of these people live in Andorra or Monaco.
Now, coming up, what President Trump...
Why would they come here? They would do business here, but guys, I mean, I live half the year in Europe. I can tell you this right now. America's cool, right? I mean, I like it. I like the freedoms that are here, right? But I don't know, bro. Things are, the food is better everywhere else.
That made Barron say, none of your business. Plus, an exclusive tour of the Oval Office. More of my interview with President Trump and some surprises next. This week, President Trump hinted that China's President Xi would be coming to the United States in the not-too-distant future. And there's also talk of a Beijing summit between the two. But what's the truth? Here's more of my interview with President Trump. Is there going to be a summit in June?
It could be. I mean, I wouldn't mind a summit, but there's going to be something else taking place. It's called April 2nd, and that's going to be tariffs. And China will pay and other countries will pay. We've been ripped off by every country in the world, friend and foe. And on April 2nd, I call it the liberation of America. We've been the fat, dumb, foolish country that allowed everybody to rip us off, including our friends. Look at NATO. Until I got involved in NATO, we were paying for the whole thing practically.
There's a lot of talk about a possibility of a recession, and CNBC had a report from the Fed saying they can't rule it out. It could actually happen. What can you say to Americans tonight who are concerned about the possibility of a recession, given the fact that you're trying to reorient the economy to a manufacturing economy again?
I think if I didn't get elected, our country would be finished to start off with. And I think now that I did get elected, I think we're going to have the strongest economy in the history of the world. And I had that economy in 4 years, with all the harassment, with all the crazy people after me, with all of the things that went on, even with COVID. I had the strongest economy in the history of our country. I had a stock market that went up 88%. 88%, number one in history. The other markets went up 66%, and I think like 71%.
Will we see a recession in 2025? Are you ruling it out?
We're going to have the strongest economic country in the history of the world, of the planet. We are taking in so much money. Now, some people are unhappy because, it has to come from somewhere.
Right.
Some of it's going to come from Europe because not everybody's going to be doing as much business maybe in Europe and other places. But I can only speak for the United States, and I am a nationalist, and I'm proud of it. I love this country, and I want to help other countries, too. Look, I'm the one, if it wasn't for me, they wouldn't be talking peace in Ukraine and Russia, because they're not Americans being killed. They're Ukrainian soldiers and Russian soldiers, and I'm trying to make peace. And again, it has not that much to do other than we don't want to be paying Bill. Biden spent $350 billion on that war. Got nothing for it.
How do interest rates end up going down when we're servicing our debt to the tune of about $1.2 trillion a year, and there's still deficit spending in Congress? How do we do that?
We have to pay off our debt. We have to start paying it off. Look, we're very under-leveraged when you look at the asset value of this country.
Absolutely.
But we're over-leveraged in terms of cash flow. We're going to have a big cash flow. We're going to take in, for years we allowed our country to be raped and pillaged. Raped and pillaged, terrible expressions. And that's what happened. Much of it was done by our friends. Look at the European Union. We can't sell cars to them, but they sell millions of cars to us. They don't take our agricultural product, but we take theirs. The days are changing. We're not going to let this happen.
It's Barron's birthday on Thursday.
Yes.
And we've all as a country seen him grow up and see him really grow up.
Tall,
How often do you talk to him? Do you talk to him every day?
all the time.
What do you see for
All my kids. I speak to all my
What do you see for his future, given his aptitude in certain areas? Business, politics, what?
I think business, and I think he could probably, if you look at my kids, all of my kids, they've been very good. They're very smart, always good students, always the big schools, the good schools, hard to get into schools. Barron's a very smart guy, but Eric and Don, Tiffany, Ivanka, they're smart people. I'm lucky. Look, you have to be a little bit lucky, too. It's not like that, but they seem to be very smart. Not only seem to be, they are very smart. And they're good kids, and they work hard, and they love our country, and they're proud of their father. And, we have a very good relationship.
You talked the other day about how music was your aptitude as a child, that your father saw that you had a musical aptitude. And so it's kind of obvious in kids early on what they're good at. But is Barron's aptitude, in your view, business or politics?
Maybe technology. He can look at a computer. I'd try turning off his car, I'd turn it off, I'd turn off his laptop. I said, oh, good. Now, and I go back 5 minutes later, he's got his laptop. I said, how'd you do that? None of your business, Dad. No, he's got an unbelievable aptitude in technology.
All right, guys. All right, guys. I was wondering where we're going with this, so we were going to get something juicy here. But now, here's the thing, guys. I do think that when it comes down to what he's calling the Trump card, it will bring a lot of people in here that are going to buy a gigantic amount of things, but then that will also, almost by definition, make all these companies foreign owned, right? I think that's pretty much where that would end up going, right? I see how that could definitely, most likely, benefit like local taxes and things, but most likely a good amount of these people would be flocking to, some of the places that are better with taxes in the first place. So there will be places immediately becoming enriched just by their existence in the state, guys. And I think that's the prediction, most likely, that will drive the left crazy, pretty much based off of the title of this video here, guys. I do think that this interview was also very solid. I think he answered to the best of his ability, obviously. And it was fair. That's it, guys. But either way, guys, listen, let me know in the comments what you guys think. I do think that also, I don't see the economy getting better. Again, I'm like a defeatist. I don't know, bro. I just can't see it. We already printed the money. You get what I mean here? It exists, right? Like we have debt pretty much based off of the money that we printed. Unless they find a way to delete dollars, similar to how they delete meme coin sums, right? Maybe that could work. That could work potentially, and we can kind of make the dollar worth what the dollar was once worth, or everyone just has to start making more money to kind of keep up with this economy, right? And how do we do that, guys? Because the money is not worth the $10 an hour you were making, before, is more like 8 now, 7 equivalent, let's say, right? Oh no, guys, we gotta figure this out. we gotta figure this out immediately, because there are problems with the economy. Now, a recession is also pretty plausible, pretty much based off all of this, depending on how hard the tariffs hit. That will basically decide, okay, how crazy things are going to be. And he's right. All of these nations around the world have absolutely been taking advantage of us. I wouldn't use the exact words, right, on YouTube specifically, right, that he used, right, but they've definitely been taking advantage of us. Again, I lived half the year in Europe. I can definitely tell you people don't drive American cars. Why? Because they're like double the price. I'm exaggerating. They're not, but they're very expensive compared to everything else, right? Big engines, automatic transmissions, like all of the creature comforts that we experience in America make these things incredibly expensive in Europe, right? So it may not just be the tariff itself, but it's the technology in itself. All right, like people out there in Spain, at least the south of Spain, they're purchasing cars for like 3,000 euros. Right, the new Mustang, 50,000 euros, 70,000 euros, bro. They don't make that much money. Listen. Okay, maybe like 17,000 euros a year. I'm gonna go ahead and speculate that's going to be somewhere between 17.5. right? $17,500. So maybe no, maybe like $18,000, somewhere in there. I'm estimating here, guys, but that's their yearly income. They can't afford our cars. They can't. At least in Spain, south of Spain. But either way, guys, okay, wait. But then when you put a tariff on an already expensive car that they can't afford in the first place, guys, they're driving like 1 or 2 cylinder cars. I'm exaggerating. And everything is manual, right? Roll up window. I'm exaggerating. You get what I'm saying here, all right? They don't, they can't afford it out there, all right? But either way, listen, you guys all have an absolutely amazing day. Enjoy your day thoroughly.